in leadership, many nations. All right, let me go to Mama Kat. Could you introduce, please, our next speaker for us? Are you excited, leaders? Are you ready? We're going all the way to Jamaica, across the waters to Jamaica, from Malawi to Jamaica. Mr. Prince.
All right.
Mr. Prince, if you can roll the slide for us. Thank you.
Oh my. What a burst of energy. I am so pleased to introduce our speaker, Mrs. Queen Simone Maghansa is a multi-award-winning global authentic spiritual speaker, inner self-confidence coach, and #1 amazing bestseller author of Give Birth to Your Authenticity. For over a decade, she has been igniting radical inner transformation and has impacted the lives of over 15,000 individuals, known for boldly commanding the room through embodied transformation. She is the founder and creative director of the international award-winning Love Yourself initiative, empowering individuals to break societal conditioning, reclaim their self-worth, and confidently lead from authenticity and grounded self-awareness. Her message is clear. Self-awareness plus self-acceptance equals self-confidence. I present to you Mrs. Queen Simone.
Thank you so much. And remember, we are streaming live. For those who didn't register, they are watching us on YouTube. You're welcome. Let's welcome Mrs. Queen, please. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see you.
How are you doing out there across the world? How is everyone doing?
Yeah, we're doing well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you very much for inviting me to this session. And I'm so happy to be a part, to see everyone from around the world, from Cuba, from Uganda, from Malawi, America, Jamaica, Canada, all over the world. Just speak up on yourself, And when Dr. Kofi reached out to me and said that he wanted me to speak, I looked at the topic. And when I saw Unite Across Waters, Connecting Diaspora to Purpose, the word that stood out to me was connection. You see, I'm going to give you 3 ways that I think can help us to connect with each other and come together as one through purpose. Now, the first one, and I want you to write this down, connect through oneself first. Why I said that is because oftentimes we want to connect with other people, but we are not aware of who we are. We are not aware of who we are as an individual. For me, leadership is like grounded self-awareness, understanding your identity, understanding your values, understanding your strengths, your communication styles, your belief system, your boundaries, and your biases. Okay? You're getting that, right? So before we go into someone else's culture to connect with them across the diaspora, we don't just go in someone else's culture and say, this is how I do it. We can ask, how can we do it? Now, when I mentioned biases before, I'm going to give you a case study using my journey. So I'm not highly academic, and I'm aware of that. But what I know that I'm good at is that I have great communication skills. I can communicate with humans on an emotional level and understand them, understanding their gifts and what they bring to the table. Now, not because I don't have academics, it don't mean I don't have value, because I'm here today talking to you right now, don't it? Right? I'm just saying this to say to you, a lot of times we see people and we tend to judge them based on the value system that we created for ourselves or what society tells us to do. What that does, it blocks us immediately from seeing the beauty within us that God has put within us. Remember, We are already born as a unique individual, and God already placed us on this earth to do different tasks and for different reasons. For example, you have a lion. A lion mouth might be loud. A lion might roar, and you might not like the roaring. But if that lion come in and start to bark, you're going to say, hold on. Lions don't bark. Dogs bark. But you had a problem with the lion before. But the barking and the roaring is what give the lion the essence, and the barking is what give the dog the essence. For me, I have been judged and been criticized as a teen for my loud mouth. All right, listen. So my loud mouth was labeled a flaw. So back then I used to shrink. When I talk, I used to try to whisper. But every time I try to whisper, it's like I cannot whisper because I naturally have that big, loud, convicted voice. But instead of, when I overcame the opinion of others, I said, you know what? My loud mouth is a human microphone. We can reframe what people might call a flaw, because that same thing that they call a flaw is the same thing I'm using right now, and has impacted the life of over 15,000 individuals and saved young teens from committing suicide. Why are you saying this, Queen? I'm saying connect through oneself first, because when you understand that, you will better know how to navigate when you go out there. When I'm teaching my young teens and I'm talking to my audience, I try to understand who this person is instead of trying to project onto them. Bear in mind, you're not going to connect with everyone, because in reality, you're not going to have the same beliefs, and some person's personality is going to be different from some. But guess what? You can connect through them or let them connect through you. Okay, maybe Queen Simone is not my type of speaker, but I can send her over to Hazel. So you see the connection? She might not be connected to you, but you allowed her to connect through Hazel to someone else. How you do that? Listening and understanding instead of judging. So the next thing, too, connect through purpose. Hazel mentioned earlier about, the PALI experience, and that experience for me was one of the most unforgettable experience, and I even implemented in some of my sessions when I was talking to the Miss Universe girls. When I signed up for the PALI course, one of the questions they asked, what are you here to do? And I said, I'm here to learn from different cultures. Little did I know that I was going to be in a group with 8 amazing women: Uganda, Malawi, Canada, America, Africa. I don't even understand some of the linguas or what, but what I did, I tried to sit down and understand. So we got this presentation to do, and I am very expressive. So Hazel was the one, trust me, she's very good at communication. Hazel was the one who, she understood my communication styles. I'm very expressive. I love to move around. That's just me. But then you have Vanessa, who is more structured, and she is more like, let's get this in line. And then you have my friend from over America. She's like, okay, let's do this, like an HR energy. And together we connected to different stories, different personalities, different language, but we all came together and created something very beautiful and unforgettable. And with that, I was also having my book launch. I launched my book 8 May this year. And I said to myself, my audience always hearing me speak. I'm going to reach out to Hazel from Malawi. And when I reached out to her, I want you guys to listen. I never said, Hazel, come and talk about authenticity this way. I said, let me know how you want me to introduce you to my audience. Bring your perspective. And then I have someone else from America, Dr. Wigan. And I said, bring your perspective. How do you want me to introduce you to my audience? Because I'm connecting the dots. I'm bringing in someone else into the space because my audience can learn from different perspectives. Until this day, persons are saying, yo, it was a impactful speech. I mean, everyone just bring their own unique perspective. And that is what I'm trying to get you, that we can connect to different cultures, but same purpose. And that is what happened with the PALI and the book launch. And until this day, we still connect and we still talk, all because of connecting and listening and understanding instead of projecting. Now, 3, connect through language, culture, and feeling. Connect through language, culture, and feeling. What do you mean by this, Queen Simone? Sometimes connection begins before comprehension. I wanted to get that. Sometimes connection comes before comprehension. Do you have a favorite song and you feel the rhythm and you feel the vibe? And someone might come from a different culture, but they enter that space and their presence say, oh my God, I'm going over there to that young woman. I don't know who she is. I don't know who he is, but I'm going to go over there. You start to feel something. For example, the Macarena. I don't understand a lot of the things that the Macarena person saying. But when that song come on, you automatically know that you should push your hand like this, put your hand like that, and put this and that like that because of the feeling and the vibe, the lambada. You don't understand, but you know it should be moving. And let's go over to Africa, Jerusalem, in a time when everyone needed love, needed, assurance. The worldwide pandemic, it was a song, Jerusalem, that connected every nation of their different dancing, every nation of their different, unique choreography. So no one can tell me that it cannot work. It works because we see this in real time. So we have to learn how to connect with people on an emotional and a human level. And that is what we call authentic connection. That's real connection. Because listen to this. What if you see a dog in a yard, a pit bull, and you said, okay, I'm going to go in my way. The pit bull is going to bite you. It said, beware of bad dogs. And you went into the yard and the pit bull bite you. You know why? You didn't take time to understand and tame and know that probably when the pit bull is sleeping around the back, that's when you should enter the yard. Here's the thing. We normally see things through our own eyes and our own perspective. Am I saying that we must open up to everyone? I'm not saying that, but how about open up to understand and try to learn the different cultures, the different language, the different value systems, the different, same like what we did in the PALI experience. So as I said before, 3 ways that I think can help us is connecting through oneself first. Because if you don't know yourself or you don't know who you are, you cannot know how to connect effectively and authentically with others. And when you know how to connect with yourself, then you're going to know your purpose and you're going to know your mission. And then you're going to take that with you and connect true purpose by understanding everyone else's unique gift. And when you do that, you're going to feel the rhythm and you're going to feel the vibe and you're going to connect through culture and connect through language. Because you know why? Because we are all different and unique in our own way. We carry different stories. We carry different scars. We carry different brilliance. And that uniqueness is our superpower and it must not be hidden. And that is how we should unite across waters, connecting diaspora to purpose. Because guess what? We can be lasting impact. We can build income. Come on, man. Remember, we are born from kings and queens. And don't let anyone tell you any otherwise. We are kings and queens. You see my name, Queen Simone. I made that legal because I believe that all of us are kings and queens. And we are here for a purpose. For far too long, we have been burying ourselves. We don't want to connect because of what society said. Oh, you're too loud. Oh, you don't pronounce your word good. And all of that. No. If God wanted us to be the same, he would have not created the different animals. And all the different animals serve a purpose, no matter what. And with that said, anytime you see another human being from any other culture, always remember this. You Bantu, I am, because we are. Big up on yourself. Thank you very much.
Where are my people? Where are my people? Where are my people? Oh my God. I think the evening and the afternoon should go on without end. Don't you agree? Don't you agree? Don't you agree? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am speechless. I am just speechless. All right. Let's find someone who can speak for us because I'm speechless, leaders. I'm speechless. Who's come to come on the microphone and just share what stood out for you, or you can ask the question. And I know our queen has a lot of stories and she only shared a fraction, but so much to learn, connect, listen to understand, and open up to understand. Who's coming on the microphone first, please? Thank you so much, Miss Blessing. Miss Blessing from Ghana, you first. Miss Blessing Diam. We can't hear.
I'm totally speechless at this moment. And one thing that actually stood out for me was what you said, that sometimes connection happens before comprehension. And I think most of the times when we meet people for the first time, we want to jump straight into the comprehension bit or quickly start looking at areas you can work together in rather than actually building the connection. So I think it was really a good one you spelled out there. But then now the question is, how do you know, or when do you sort of, should I say, draw the line? Like, when do you know that, okay, fine, the connection between myself